through. That's what the
But
Immaculate Conception really
yeah, but
comes
The
out to.
Christians don't believe. They believe that Jesus was the Son of God. They believe that Mary
He is.
didn't
He
didn't
is.
have he didn't have sex. Mary didn't have sex.
Oh
You
well,
know.
that's yeah.
Well,
That
now
yeah. No,
there's
that's
also the fact that historically speaking, at that time, most women were
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? KCE, King Chaka.
considered virgins until they gave birth to a male. So
Okay.
if she had had a daughter, she was still a virgin.
Yeah. So well, the idea of the Immaculate Conception is like
but
basically God impregnated Mary.
but that's still just narrative because even in Scripture you find that like even Jesus tells you that he is born of like a father and a mother. But just because of the Bible, the way it's been taught to people, is where the biggest problem is because they're not telling you what's symbolic or what's like most of it is allegory to make you see a bigger picture. There's symbolism there, so that because symbols like you can tell a bigger story, explain more things to
But
you than just the
but
words
the
that is coming out.
but the Father was God. That's where the problem
Well,
comes in.
that's the thing, and also when we're talking about the Son, we're speaking calling it Jesus, but at the same time it actually meant the SUN and not the SON.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying like the way it was taught to people because it moves back and forth. Like it did not always keep it just because they used this one symbol it didn't always hold to be the same explanation.
And I kind of
So
want to go back to the thing with we're talking about Immaculate Conception, and we're also talking about the resurrection. And like I said earlier in the show, we don't have any evidence of anything like that happening. Like we know this is something that we do know. We don't need a religion to tell us that people have sex and they make babies. We also know that when someone dies, they're dead and they're gone. They don't come
but
back.
but these were see, and that's the thing, the human see the symbolic because they're using the names of people, but they're talking about universal principle interaction like the equinoxes, like when we're talking about the spring, what happens in Easter,
And,
what
and, and I
happens at
did
Christmas, what
and I did a whole
happens.
show about explaining that, and I think I pissed a lot of people off. The return of the sun, and
Okay,
all
now
of that can be explained with the movement of the sun and the stars, the resurrection of the sun. All of that can be explained through that way, but that's not a person being reborn that was
Mm-hmm.
dead. And then that goes back to the Holy Trinity, leaving out the female, leaving out the woman, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. You know,
Yeah,
there goes
but
something
see
that
that.
is again is not natural. We know, like I don't believe in supernatural. I believe that everything is natural. It's just that
Yeah.
there's things that we don't understand. So, things happen that we don't understand and we call them supernatural,
Well,
but that doesn't
well,
mean that they
a
are
lot of
not
us,
natural to the universe.
they
yeah,
are until they're
a lot of,
defined.
well, see, a lot of us have been trained to ignore, and see, and that's, I think that right
There goes
there is,
blasphemy again.
Paranormal is actually the better term than supernatural. It is beyond what is normal. We cannot understand it yet. Supernatural says it is beyond fathoming.
well, I mean, I guess that goes to even with miracle because some people act like miracle is something that never happens, but a miracle is something that definitely happens,
Hey, if
and
we look at a
because
comic book, doesn't that make Jesus one of the first mutants, one of the first superheroes?
Boom.
especially,
And
especially when you can moonwalk across the water, and people
that's
don't realize. Okay, the God's Son is the sun that danced across the water, like the whatever
and
body of
that's
water it
and
was.
that's true. But if you take it to a human, see, like I really love horror movies, and I be watching them all the time. And it's like, if you see a human crawl up a wall and crawl upside down on a wall, like that's the kind
It's
of stuff they
evil.
do in the movies, right? Or if you see a person bend backwards, like their back bends the other way or something,
Yeah, you
like
kill it with fire.
I love horror
Yeah,
movies, and that's the kind of stuff that scares me
I'm
because
not.
I'm
I'm
like,
not into it.
that's that's not natural right there. So then, like, I mean, I don't really believe in that idea of the God and the devil in that way. But I feel like if it's something that's happening that doesn't follow the laws of physics, that doesn't follow the laws of the universe, like we know humans, the way our physical body is built, our back can't bend that way without it being
Mhm.
broken. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the
And
ability to crawl up a wall and crawl to the top like a roach or something. We can't do that. So that's the reason why in the movies, when that happens, it's like shocking, and you're like, holy crap! Like that's the
l-
devil. That's
listen, I
evil.
I had this thought, and maybe I'm wrong for it, but I do want to kind of express my thought on it because, like everybody, a lot of we all know the show Walking Dead, right?
Hmm.
You
Yeah, I
never
love that show.
saw the movie,
I, I,
the
lo-
TV show Walking Dead?
I love that show. I probably saw almost all the episodes. I mean,
Well,
really.
well, to me, and this is one of the things that I guess maybe I'm somewhat insane or crazy, but most of the people that I know that they had their favorite hero of The Walking Dead as one of the people who you know were not the zombies, but in my mind, the people who were the stars of the show were the people who did not take the jiggity yak, the jibbity jibbity, jibbity jabbity, um, and all the other ones that were getting, you know, that slowly walking across the zombies are the ones who
I'm
did.
telling you, I get what you're saying because I love zombie movies, and I because it's because I I think it's real, just not in the way that they do it in the movies. And I
Yeah.
believe the zombie apocalypse has already happened.
Yes.
It has
It sounds
already
like
happened.
it sounds like neither of you have looked into George Romero at all. I mean, he
Who?
is the guy, George Romero. He's the guy that did Night of the Living Dead, the very first zombie movie ever.
The
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 one that
one
actually,
where,
the one that actually had the black guy at the end of it get all through of it and then get killed
yeah,
because, yeah, okay. So
yeah, I know that movie. It's classic.
he's the one. Now, you should look into something he
I,
said.
wa-
Part of his inspiration was watching people just become zombies to everything.
hmm
And like we're talking now, how,
Well,
oh well, it represents this and that. It's always represented the
it
masses turning into mindless zombies and going to after consumption of the people that are individual and different.
Like, let
yeah.
me throw this one in there. The
The cell
Invasion of the
phone.
Body Snatchers. That
Oh,
one was playing with that same idea. Like they were talking about aliens with that one,
How
but that
slowly
was,
people become conformist and fall into the system and then actually begin fighting for the system and rooting other people out that don't want to be part of it.
when I saw that
yeah.
movie, the
Left.
the old version of the body of this Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and there was a scene where like they were like trying to
Now,
blend in
when
with
you
the
say version, are you talking about the Donald Sutherland version or the black and white version?
black and white, the black and
Thank,
white
thank,
version.
thank
When I
you, because
was
last time someone said that to me, they started arguing the Donald Sutherland, and it made me cry.
No, it's the black and white version.
I don't know
I
any
saw it
of.
as a kid, and
It's the pod
I'm aware.
people.
I'm a sucker.
it's
I ain't
the
gonna
pod
like.
people.
I,
All this
I
shit
don't watch
sounds
all
like
that stuff.
Faces of Death, bro. Like
It's the movie about the
I
pod
remember watching
people.
this shit with Chaka called Faces of Death.
Oh, that's
I
just
don't I don't know
that
if
is.
that's the same shit,
That,
but
Oh
it
no,
that's
was
no,
super
gory
weird
stuff.
out.
No, it's
that is hardcore gore.
yeah.
We're
That's
talking
and that
about
was
these
real.
ideas. We're
We're
talking
talking
about
about
these
the
ideas
symbology.
because the symbology. So in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, there was a scene, and it still sticks to me to this day. I saw it as a kid, scared the shit out of me. And the scene was okay. The aliens came and they infected the bodies, and the people were all hive minded or whatever, and the people that hadn't been infected, what they had to pretend to be, you know, like the other ones who had been, turned into. I guess you could call them zombies. What the hell do you call them? So okay, they're standing in a
Pod
line and they're
people.
pod people,
They
and
were pod people.
you're walking in the line along with them to not be detected. And so, like, I think they sweat. One of them sweated a little bit or smiled. They did
They
something was
reacted.
out of
So
and
they had a reaction.
and then all of the other ones they turned around and they just started pointing at them, like immediately. Like the whole crowd turned around and pointed at it. It was two people that weren't pods, and they all of the pod people turned around and just they didn't even say anything. They just turned around and pointed at them. And it's like they're not one of us.
Hive mind.
You know,
That scene scared the living shit out of me because that's what I feel like still to this day, every day, that I'm afraid, and I pretend. And that's what I was talking about in the other show about wearing a mask.
We see it today. He voted for Trump. Ah,
Hey, you know how they had those videos
bro. Say,
where
bro,
the
I got
dude,
family members that been knowing me all my life.
but what
Give
they don't
boy,
realize, they feel like, oh, everybody's voted for Trump, and it's like, okay, maybe we did. Then they come back and they want to tell you, oh, well, Trump was a war criminal too, because Obama seized the drone strikes, and then when Trump came in, the drone strikes went up over 99%, and it's like,
that's not
okay,
totally
that
true. But
that
yeah,
may
but we
be
actually started
but
hitting
but but
targets.
but see, but the thing is, it's like okay, one president starts something, you got people there, like you're trying to, as the president, this stuff is not supposed to be personal. This is supposed to be, okay, in the best interest of the country, it's best that we do this, or this, and it's usually with the advisement of someone who is actually, uh, that's trained or really does that. They just need the chief to say, okay, go ahead, or hell no, we're not doing that. Like, but I mean,
I'm just saying, yeah, I get you, Pat. I'm just saying, like, that shit right there, what Chalk was talking about, nigga. If you point me out, I'm running. Y'all gonna have to catch my black ass, cause I
say,
But
bro,
look,
promise
it's
you,
scary as hell
I'm
because there
gone.
it's
I'm
you're
I didn't figured out the entrance, the exits.
man, you
I
are
done figured out the
outnumbered.
the, the
Yeah, you got
secondary.
you went walking in that neighborhood before.
you are
You,
surrounded.
you are surrounded and
I've been in that
outnumbered.
neighborhood a few
Hey,
before.
And how did it
I
go?
done been outnumbered. Hey, you
And how
gotta
did it
remember,
go?
I'm the dude that's got chocolate daughter that teases me every time we go out to my son's baseball game, and she goes, "Daddy, you're white," and I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about? I'm your father." She goes, "You turn red like white people." So,
I turn red sometimes.
so
Fucking,
hey, I'm out of there. Like, you're
but
not finna
listen,
catch me, Pat.
no,
Don't make
bro.
fun of me,
You
Pat. I
no,
hear you. I
bro.
hear you
Don't think
huffing and
like
puffing.
that. Don't think like that. Listen, it's dangerous. It's so easy for you to be put into the hive. How did it go in the movie? Like all they had to do was come and like get in your face, and they like
Fall asleep.
That's what it was. He
All
fell
you had,
asleep.
all you had to do was fall asleep, and then they put a pod next to you, and then you were podded, and the pod grew you.
Like a
Yeah,
plant.
but at the same time, the fear, like, because one of the things I had to draw, because like even because it you showing some fear, because you kind of because like let's just say with bees not gonna really sting you unless you have a bad aura or energy around you. And just like what he was saying, like it's you reacting to that crowd in whatever way is what brought the attention to you and got these things
Well, all
you
you
know
It
did was
was
be human.
reacting as a human. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what keyed them off. They just did something that was human.
They did
yeah.
So
something
they
human
started
like sweating
sweating.
or smiling or something that was human
Well, you
that
better think fast. You gotta be like, I was sweating because that bitch in front of me was so fine.
but look, they don't sweat. The pods don't sweat. They don't recognize the fine woman. They
Yeah.
and so that's the thing. That's why I say it scares me so much because you know they're
Joe
either
Biden
gonna
is
kill
creating
you
that.
or they're gonna add you into their hive and you're gonna become one of the damn zombie robots and you know you're walking around living dead.
I think that's half of society, bro.
That's what
Exactly
I'm
what you're
saying.
mentioning. I think that's over half of society,
Oh,
and the
that's
one
right.
and the
That's
ones
right.
that fight against it, like you and I. That's what, like, bro. That's why they created these freaking. And you talk about zombie robots. You know what zombie robots is? That's the algorithm that picks up on certain things that you put in your headline or your title for your video. That's why this video of Daddy Long Dick fucking some thought in the parking lot will get more views than fuck Biden. He's a war criminal. He's a
I,
fascist
I could sit up here and
motherfucker.
do fart
You know
videos
what
and
I'm
get
saying?
more
Yeah,
views.
exactly.
Bro,
But
say,
the
bro,
minute you
no,
say,
look, no. I said, look, maybe we ought to have some cat videos at the beginning of the show, or incorporated some kind of way, because people love cats and they will watch cat videos for hours, and they won't pay any attention to the politics or whatever that's going, like things that's actually affecting their lives. They will
And,
totally ignore it.
and how we scroll on social media and we're just sitting there scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
I
That's
love cat
that's
videos.
that's
I
that's
like
that.
cat, I
But
like cat videos too. But the
but
one cat
but
video I just watched, he hurt himself pretty
but at the
bad.
same time, I'm not like there's enough time. Like, you got to be able to say enough is enough, and like, all
Uh,
right, let me move on to something that's actually gonna, you
Stimulate
know,
me mentally because you're a zombie at that moment. So what if we can we switch into zombie mode and back out of zombie mode? You know what I mean?
yeah.
We get there and we scroll for hours and hours. I've done it, and your brain is basically turned off. You know what I'm
I
saying?
guarantee if you start out with a sports headline, if you say, "Oh, King NT King NT has posted video reels," or King NT, uh what do you call that when you like third party ghost interviewer of like some famous person? What do they call that?
Yeah, I
Like,
know what you're saying. They how did they say it? They said they own them or something like that. King Jockey
yeah,
NT owns such and such.
owns Alex Bregman, the 2022 World Series champion. You know what I'm saying? Like, your video would get so many fucking clicks, bro, and it could be some bullshit about cats fucking jumping around and massaging your bald fucking head. Like, oh, look at my cat, it massages my head. It's fucking
Oh, bro, like,
charismatic.
all right, you threw me off there for a second.
That's the
You said
whole internet.
massaging my bald what?
My
Head.
Like,
bald head.
yeah.
Cat, get your mind out the gutter.
No,
But it's like,
I was like, wait a minute, what?
But that's the whole ass internet, man. It's the whole ass internet. And then look, it's people that's choosing to, the nonsense, the debauchery, the brainless stuff is what they choose to consume. And something that's actually saying something that really matters,
But
they're going to skip it. They're going to
but
scroll
listen,
past it really quickly.
let me give y'all a little bit of insight because I actually had interaction with some people that let me know this is true, and it's the fact that people really are living in so much fear, like they like, and that's the reason why they're able to be controlled as easily because it's just like, oh, that's the solution. All right, just go ahead and do it. Let's just do it instead of like, okay, rationalizing something and saying, okay, well, this makes sense, but that don't make no sense at all. Blah blah blah. There's no way I'm gonna do that. No, it's like things are just they prefer those the easy way out, so they will accept that
Even the stuff
aliens are invading or you
even the
know
stuff that they know is not true, and it's what bothers me a lot because the stuff that
yes,
goes viral, it be fake like
but they
every
get mad.
time.
They'll get mad at you for even trying to give them some rationale on the subject because it's like they're already look, I've already trained my mind to not think about this stuff, and here you are. I was like, well, damn, God put me over here to tell you what I'm telling you because I'm not just popping up and just saying this and this about politics. No, it was something that was given to me that I need to pass on to you.
And
So
they share it.
you rejecting it does not make it not real or true.
It's a fake video that somebody made, and everybody shares it and reposts it and makes comments under it as if
Yeah.
it's something that actually is real. Like, and I think a lot of them don't care that it's not real. You know what I mean? Like, that's beside the point. It's like it
Some
hurts my
some
brain.
some people really don't because I mean, like I said, I mean, especially when we get into the monetization of social media, like people know what's going to get clicks and what's this, how people react and this blah blah blah. They're just taking advantage of that in the moment reactions that's going to happen. Like millions of people might look at this thing in within the next 5 hours or less in the next hour.
And and they don't care. They don't care that it was totally staged, totally acting, totally like just straight up.
Nobody comes back and correct us that, oh, we really, cause I mean, we're seeing some of these videos where they're marketing it misinformation or fact check, but like I don't think even the average person understands that fact is something that's agreed upon. So the person who's putting up a fact check can just disagree in any kind of way. It makes it not a fact, even though it might be truth. What was said was the truth, but because somebody somewhere is disagreeing with it, now it goes into the realm of what a fact is, because a fact has to be agreed upon. The
Yeah,
truth is the truth is the
yeah.
truth is the truth.